Welcome back, or for the first time, to Season 3 of Freeze All Motor Functions, a.k.a. FAMF, presented by Bolin Media. We are a Westworld podcast that doesn't sound like anything to me and doesn't take itself too seriously, as will become very apparent if this is your first time listening to Freeze All Motor Functions. I am your host, Jared Borislow, joined as always by Ross Bolin.
Jared, we are back. We have made it to Season 3. We have survived, what was it, 2-year gap?
Big gap, yeah. Some people would say we were back in the saddle. So that's a cowboy reference. Not a lot of cowboys in this season, it appears.
Well,
but
we don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
They could shock us.
Yeah.
Reverse course, go back to Westworld.
Maybe they do a rewind like in Hamilton, and it's like, rewind, and it's just like people just start riding horses backwards.
Sure. Probably not.
Anything's possible.
Haven't seen Hamilton.
Really?
Wish I could identify with that joke. Not rich enough.
Fun
Must
fact.
be nice.
You know, well, I actually...
Jared attends Broadway plays on a daily basis.
I won free tickets through the Hamilton Lottery with the Hamilton app, and we got front row tickets for $12.
Shouts to everyone who won Masters Lottery tickets this year and then can't go now.
Not great. Ross, there's never been a time where the world needed great excuses to watch TV more than right now.
It's true.
So this season,
arguably.
Yeah, well, no, since the TV's been invented, I would say probably maybe not.
I don't know when the TV was invented. But I'm gonna say probably.
Probably like what, 1776?
Oh no.
17. That's another Hamilton reference. I need to stop making Hamilton.
Wow.
Are we
Okay.
are we a Hamilton podcast?
No.
Oh.
I don't. Again, haven't seen it. Don't get the jokes.
Whatever. Anyways, so this season of Westworld dropping right now is very kismet. This is a phenomenal time for us to be able to sit down, hunker down, social distance, be indoors, and take in Westworld.
I'm sorry, did you say kismet?
Kismet.
I don't know what that means either.
It's
Jared,
like,
I'm going to make a rule here. Let's use words and phrases and things that I understand.
stop being such an anti-disestablishmentarianist, Ross.
What does kismet mean, though?
Like, it meant to be.
Okay, meant to be.
Yeah.
1927 for the first TV.
I will say that...
21-year-old, by the way, who invented it, Jared.
Wow.
What had you done at 21? Nothing.
I didn't do it.
Nothing.
No,
Not a goddamn thing. This man invented the television. Philo Taylor Farnsworth. Back to you, Jared.
Okay. Thanks. I will say, you'd have thought that a global pandemic would have made its way into the date announced trailer on that circle, being like, it's like, oh, disruptions in Hong Kong, coronavirus.
Sure.
That's kind of the biggest one in the timeline that they missed. But, I thought that Westworld would be more on the ball and get that in there, but apparently not.
They just didn't have that foresight, Jared.
They
were
weren't
writing.
They weren't kismet.
They weren't kismet enough.
You gotta be kismet.
Hashtag kismet.
Luckily for everybody here, this is the perfect time for Westworld, for this podcast, more importantly. No, I shouldn't say more importantly, as importantly. And we're here for you every single week for the next 2+ months. Think about that, Ross. Us in your ears for 2+ months. You can
Very
call us,
exciting stuff.
we're like earwax boys. We're the earwax boys. We stay in your ears. We're always there. We're giving you the business.
You could just call us Freeze All Motor Functions. That'd be a more prudent decision, in my opinion. Or you could call us the Earwax Boys if you're a psycho.
Hashtag earwax boys.
Sure.
It feels so good to be back to break down Season 3 of Westworld, just like we've done for Seasons 1 and 2. In this episode, we'll be recapping, reviewing, and analyzing Season 3, Episode 1 of Westworld. Parce, Domine? Parce, Domine, Parky Domini? Unclear. Don't know.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah. I think it's Parce, Domine. Before we get into extensively breaking down the Season 3 premiere, we need to start off by thanking the ever-living fuck out of you for joining us on this journey further into night.
That's an aggressive amount of thanks. I like it.
Yes. Whether you've been with us for a while and are part of the reason why we're the #1 rated Westworld podcast in Apple Podcasts.
Thank you.
Or this is your first ever episode of FAMF.
Welcome, motherfucker.
It means a lot to us that you trust us as your Westworld companion podcast. That being said, we do have one quick ask of you. If you support this podcast and what we do here by combining Westworld and comedy, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts as soon as you're able to. Your ratings and reviews really do directly impact how high this podcast gets on the podcast charts. And the higher we get on the podcast charts, the more new listeners we get, and thus the longer we can keep doing this podcast for y'all. Because, unlike past seasons of FAMF, Ross and I are doing this solo dolo like Kid Cudi, who is in Westworld.
Wow. I wish I could do like a good Kid Cudi. But I don't have like that. Nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it but him.
He's the only one who can do it. He can hum.
Nobody.
He's got it.
And he didn't even survive episode 1.
Well, I think he died long before
He was
episode
never
1.
even alive
Yeah, that's rough.
for episode 1.
Ross and I are on our own in this crazy world, and your support means everything to us because it means we can keep FAMF alive forever.
Especially since we're here risking our literal lives, Jared.
I mean,
Not heroes, but
I'm being pretty safe. I'm washing the hands. I'm not touching Ross. I usually don't touch Ross, but I'm not touching them.
I've been touching everybody.
Oh, come on. Okay, Ross.
Hearts and souls, Jared, not physically.
Please rate 5 stars and review if you support us. If you don't do that because that's not great. Let's get into it. Season 3, Episode 1, Parce, Domine. Ross, what does Parce, Domine mean?
I'm going to guess it means...
Okay, Parce, Domine is a Roman Catholic antiphon. What is an antiphon, Ross?
I'm going to guess
it's a short chant performed during Christian ritual.
Son of a bitch. That's not what I was going to guess either.
I will now recite the antiphon Parce, Domine for you. Parce, Domine, parce populo tuo, ne in aeternam idascaris nobis.
Wow.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm impressed.
What do you like better, that or Incite Anthem?
I thought I was in a room with a monk.
Yeah, that was chamber music. I memorized that too.
You know what's fucked up is I was in a chamber choir.
Really?
Once.
How'd you do?
Not as well as you.
What? Did people notice that you were bad? Is it like somebody's off key?
No, I was great, Jared. I was joking. I was great. I just didn't want to take it from you.
Oh, you should have.
I was phenomenal.
Did you sing Parce, Domine?
Nope. What did that mean? Those beautiful words you just sang to us.
Well, translated into English, that means spare, Lord, spare your people. Be not angry with us forever.
Oh shit!
I said it way more beautifully in my Latin singing.
That's daunting.
It is. I think, personally, that the Lord being referred to here could be Dolores. You guys see what I did there?
Ha Hey.
And that this is in reference to Dolores sparing humans and being not angry with them forever, which is shown by her accepting help from Caleb at the end. Before meeting Caleb, Dolores does seem like she'll be angry at humans forever, as is evidenced by her holding on to grudges against both Jerry and Connells, who she says, remember me, like in the park? You did bad things to me, and now you did.
Yeah, those guys... Forgot about that bachelor party.
Yeah, you know...
Forgot it. You always forget about that one stripper.
What happens in Westworld, if it ever leaves Westworld, you're going to get shot in the face.
It's not like Vegas, where it stays there.
Yeah.
It comes back to get you.
With either
hot form, too, in a pencil skirt.
And in a golf club, a really bad... What do you think his club head speed was? What do you think Jerry's club head speed was when he whiffed on Dolores and whacked his head on the side of the pool? Thoughts?
78, real lame, weak.
It was weak. Yeah, that was putt-putt shit.
Small club head speed is what we're talking about
here. A child at a
here.
putt-putt course, he would putt faster than Jerry did that.
Very sad.
Very, very sad.
Jerry, also, utter ownage there. Utter ownage.
Parce, Domine is also a painting by Adolphe Villette. And, of course, the symbolism here is that Adolphe Villette shares a first name with Adolf Hitler, whose Nazi world was shown in the post-credits scene. I looked at the painting.
What an incredible stretch you just made.
I looked at the painting, Ross, and had...
What in the hell are you even talking about, son?
The
name of the episode still?
Yeah.
This man is derailing.
There was a painting called Parce, Domine. And like I said, I looked at the painting, had absolutely zero clue how it tied into the episode, and so I just made up that connection.
Wonderful observation.
That's what art is, though.
But yes, Adolf Hitler. Famous, infamous, I should say, dictator during World War II.
Are you explaining to people...
You remember.
Okay. We start off...
Remember.
We start off...
Adolf Hitler.
Yes, we remember. Okay. We start off Season 3 with a cold open. We see a graphic in the same style as the date announce trailer that tells us where we're about to go, and that is Beihai, China.
So that's where we're going.
Yes. The graphic shows up, and it says, this is where you're going, and this is the disruption or whatever that happened there. This one didn't have a disturbance. It was just like a coordinate.
Okay, so I'm still unclear. It says where?
Beihai, China.
That's where we're going, and it says it's a disruption.
No, this just says this is it's like a point.
Destination.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
This is not a disruption.
No.
But other times we're shown disruption.
Yeah.
Okay.
System disturbances or like needs to look into this more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those are supposed to be that system that we're shown in this episode,
Rehoboam.
right?
Rehoboam.
They could have made it anything else. Named it literally anything else that was easy for me to say.
It's biblical, Ross. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay.
These location setting graphics are totally new and are absolutely begging for someone to put Seinfeld-style bass licks over them and then add laugh tracks into the following scenes. Do you agree?
Sure.
Like, it's just like, Beihai, China. Bam, bam, bam. You know? I thought that'd be kind of funny. So if intern Tarina wants to do that, whatever.
This is just a way for you to tell her to do things.
I mean, I kind of
that's
want
what the show is. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be kind of tight.
Yeah.
If you don't know who intern Tarina is, she does a lot of our visual stuff and also knows a lot about the TV industry and pops in. She's not really an intern anymore, so we're just going to call her Serena now. That sound good to you, Ross?
Yeah, I love Serena. She's awesome.
Yeah, check out her work on our Instagram at Freeze on Motor Functions and Twitter at Freeze on Motor, and on our Patreon, patreon.com/Freeze on Motor Functions, which I'll talk about more in a bit. Ross, so we're in Beihai, China. There's a beautiful house on a cliff that reminds me of the house from Hale Caesar. Have you seen Hale Caesar?
Nope.
Would that it were the same house. That's a great reference to Hale Caesar that probably like 5 listeners will get, and I kind of appreciate them.
Between
for that.
Hamilton and Hale Caesar fans, they're really enjoying themselves.
That's a Venn diagram that includes 2 people. One of them's name is Jim, and one of them is me. Shouts to Jim. Ross, we meet Jerry, who's clearly a rich and powerful globalized man. His staff speaks Mandarin, his broker speaks German, he speaks English, and he's also a dick to his wife, which comes into play later. We see that Jerry is an investor in Delos and wants to sell his shares after the bloodbath of Season 2. We get a shot of his tablet, which reads, "What we know so far, at least 75 people were killed and over 200 wounded in a multiple-day massacre at the Westworld theme park on Delos Destinations property," officials said, and there's some other stuff too. That's the most important stuff. So now we know 75 people killed, and we later find out in the board meeting at Delos that number's up to like 113.
And I'll say this for those numbers. Bad timing.
Yeah.
Bad timing. If there was supposed to be any weight to that, right now when I'm hearing the numbers, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
You're like,
how
oh,
about you
that's-
bury the bodies? How about you bury the fucking bodies and let's move on?
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's kind of in comparison.
It's just kind of funny that it's like 100 people, and then like at one point they're even like, and no, it was mostly staff employees anyway. I'm like, oh, bury the bodies.
Yeah. It's
Let's go.
Your whole perception's been shifted.
Yeah.
Jerry gets pissed at his broker and yells at him to find out a way to sell his shares after the broker says the market's frozen until the news is verified. And Jerry pretty much tells him to go fuck himself and make the sale go through.
I love that. This is how I think the stock market works. Scenes like this.
Yeah.
That's because I've never actually invested in anything. I
That's
just
good.
assume
That's
every
good right now.
conversation's like this.
That's great that you haven't invested.
Shut the fuck up and make it happen. That's how investing works.
And the guy's
We
like,
can't. The market's literally closed. Do it.
yeah.
Nobody wants these shares. Sell them.
He was ahead of the game because there's a lot of share selling going on today, Ross.
I heard it was a bad day in the market.
Worst day.
Sorry.
Worst day in the market.
In 30 years?
Ever.
Mm.
Ever. Yeah. Let's not talk about politics. Well, that's not politics. That's money. The money of politics. The politics of money? Anyways, let's get back into it. Jerry's broker vanishes into the Insight logo, which I thought was tight. That was like my first glimpse, personally, of, 2058 has really cool technology where you think that's a person standing next to you, but it's actually a freaking...
So, yeah, the hologram stuff is clearly coming into play here.
Which that all started with the Tupac hologram.
It did.
In
at
like
Coachella.
2012 or whatever.
They're giving us... That was our first taste in this season of like how this what technologies we're going to see outside of the park, right? Because everything was limited to park technology before, and now we're actually in the real world. I love that we have a date, like a year, where we know it's 2055 is what it is?
2058? Am I crazy?
2055, 28,
Who-
2058?
Yeah, it's 2058. I was like, what? I bet
That's
not be
cool
wrong.
to be able to put like a little time frame on, like could the world look like this in 30 years type of situation, before everything got ruined. But we had a shot at this, 2 weeks ago. It was possible, attainable, this world.
Yeah.
No more. I like that. I like this first glimpse into that technology, and then the way it plays later in the episode, obviously, is cool as well.
Do you remember the video game 2048 with those sliding tiles?
Nope. And I haven't seen Hamilton, and what was the other one?
Kismet.
No.
I don't know.
But you're 0 for 3.
Hail Caesar.
Hail
0 for 3.
Caesar, okay.
Maybe you'll get one of my references
We'll
one
see
day.
one day.
So I thought it was interesting. Looking back on it now, I just realized this. The fact that Jerry knew that these holograms existed, but he still didn't think Dolores might have been a hologram at the end. You
Yeah,
know?
but that's too much. Come on.
I don't
What's
know.
he supposed to do?
I think that might be Insight technology, so he got kind of hoisted by his own petard.
Ah.
Like, oh, that's your technology, dude? Well, guess what? It tricked you, and then you got freaking domed up by the side of a pool, bruh.
Yeah, killing yourself with clumsiness, not the way you want to go out.
It's not. It's really not.
No.
We cut ahead to Jerry going to bed, getting another glimpse into the 2058 technology with some sort of Listerine ready tab situation that he took to enter a relaxation cycle. Did you see this? You hear about this?
Mm-hmm.
He just like put a little thing on his tongue, which we see later on with Caleb's mom as well. And I believe that based on the conversation we have later on, that Listerine ready tab is what works with the interface, or not the interface. What do they call it again? The
Whatever
implant.
it is.
The implant.
Yeah, so these people are all dosed.
Yeah,
and it's really, like, the one thing that's interesting is that we don't know what kind of impact these Listerine things that you're calling them could have. What is it, like an SSRI antidepressant type of situation, or is it like a totally world-altering, reality-altering situation? Like, we don't really have a scope on any of that yet, but it's very cool that they've again another piece of technology right there that we've been introduced to in the first episode.
So it seems like an implant in your brain, and you take these Listerine Ready tabs to interact with them and kind of make stuff happen.
Yeah.
And he uses like a little tablet to kind of coordinate with it too, it seems. He also has a smart house as well. That seems like a very much higher techer version of an Alexa-ish situation.
Sure.
Jerry prepares for a nice 6-hour sleep set to a mellow sunset after telling his wife he doesn't want to go her to go into the town anymore alone because it's a security risk. We don't really know why that is. Probably because he's just a powerful dude.
Because the company's falling apart, perhaps.
Who knows?
And he's a big part of it or a big investor in it, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Unclear. But while Jerry's asleep, we see that Jerry's smart house gets hacked. The oxygen levels are dropped. Fire pits are lit. They're lit. Exits are locked, and an opera song was scheduled to play over the house loudspeaker. When the opera music starts, Jerry, who's now wearing an oxygen mask and has his hand zip tied, wakes up, and his wife Eunice does not wake up because the oxygen levels have made it so where she's like in this very deep sleep, not dead, but like her body is shut down and like not letting her wake up.
Oh, I thought she was dead.
No, she's not dead. She comes out at the end of the scene.
I thought she came back to life.
Did you?
No. But I did think she was dead at first.
Jerry screams for security. Nobody comes. He tries to get his smart house to help him out, but it's been reduced to just being able to turn on the lights, which I thought was a fun scene. It was like, would you like to turn on the lights? He was just fucking screaming. He tries to unlock the door, but can't. He then looks out, sees a woman swimming in the nude in his pool, skinny dipping. It's Dolores.
She's back, baby.
We all knew that's who it was going to be, right? Did you think it could be anybody else, Ross?
What do you mean?
Did you think that we only saw a woman swimming in the pool?
Nah, I was like, oh, that's probably Dolores.
It had to be, right?
Yeah.
I thought for a second it kind of looked like maybe Angela from the back of the head, but she got blown to smithereens, so I don't think it should be her.
She gone.
Dolores puts on her clothes, walks up the stairs, unlocks the door, showing Jerry she's in total control, confronts Jerry. We learn that Jerry and Dolores have met before, like we mentioned, at a bachelor party in Westworld where he did not treat her well, and Dolores does not like people who do not treat her well. Dolores then says my favorite line from the whole episode, Ross. Bit of a tactical mistake, really. You want to be the dominant species, but you built your whole world with things more like me. That's the most
so Dolores.
That is the most Westworld season 1 line I've ever heard. That is all of the AI ethics, the all like artificial intelligence is gonna kill us all. The entire season 1 is like summed up in that one line, and that's probably like the biggest season 1 reference we'll get because it really seems like they're moving from the ethics of artificial intelligence and the dangers of it into data rights. And that's what I believe season 3 is going to be all about. It's like before it was like, oh, robots and AI, how does that impact me? Which is kind of a distant thing because we like to believe our scientists in the world are going to protect us from that and would never do something to like create a killer robot.
Oh,
but
no,
now
I don't believe that. I think most people are aware that the scientists don't give a fuck about us.
Yes. But now they're doing something way more tangible, which is data rights. We all know that every single app or web page you've ever used has like everything about us.
Well, they've always played with this aspect.
Yes.
It's always been there from day one.
With
it was
the Forge.
just intermingled with the ethics of perhaps AI, but now it's like clearly going to become the focus.
Yeah. I believe season 2 was like an intermediate point that did AI and this, except for this data rights thing was only in terms of the Forge, which only impacted guests who went into the park. Now it's everybody. They don't care if you went to the park. This is every single person in the world. Here's how people having access to your data impacts you.
Yeah.
Even somewhat taking away your free will, as we'll talk about later. So Dolores says she doesn't want to hurt anyone who isn't going to hurt her, but that she's read Jerry's book in the Forge and knows he is going to hurt her because she knows everything about him now, including his memories. So kind of the free will thing I was talking about. She knows he's going to hurt her, which all plays into how, in the end, because she knew he was going to hurt her, she did the hologram thing, made him kill himself in the same manner in which he murdered his wife, which we watched him relive.
Very confusing stuff.
Did you not follow any of that?
No, I did.
Oh, good. I was worried. Yeah, Jerry tries to claim his first wife drank too much, slipped and hit her head, fell in the pool. Dolores knows better.
Jerry's a piece of shit.
Yeah, Jerry's not a good guy.
Jerry's got to go.
Yeah.
Dolores takes Jerry out.
Yep. She takes him out, but not before getting his money and access to all the confidential files he was supposed to delete, but didn't, from when he worked at the company Insight, who, as we've seen, is huge in the consumer technology space so far.
So here's why Jerry matters, Jared.
Yes.
Because Jerry is now Dolores' bank. Anything she needs to do, anything she needs to buy, any cool dresses that can fucking transform into another dress at any given moment. Jerry's the bank.
She's bankrolled.
Jerry's her power, her access, the fact that he had this blackmail situation was her in.
Yeah.
Huge moves by Dolores in the beginning of
Yes.
episode 1.
My favorite part of that whole scene was how she zip-tied a pair of high-tech glasses to his head. Like, that literally is what I imagine people who bought Google Glass have to do when they want to play sports with their Google Glass on.
I still felt like you could have taken the glasses off. I was
Right?
like,
Well,
why don't
he
you
was-
just take the glasses off, bro?
His hands were zip-tied, but
Hey,
yeah.
guy, why don't you maybe make an effort to knock these glasses
Yeah.
off, bro?
High-tech rec specs. He should have just smashed his face into the ground. Oh, I can't see anything now. Haha.
I mean, anything other than what he did, which was go room to room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't great.
Jerry.
Yeah, sad. So, yeah, now Dolores has all this information, all this confidential information about Insight. She has all of this money, and yeah.
So Insight is the company that owns the
Rehoboam.
computer. Okay?
Yep.
So Delos, Westworld, Insight, computer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. And they are seemingly not, they seemingly are involved together somehow, but maybe they're competitors. You know?
Don't know.
It really is truly hard to say. And then from there, after all this stuff happens with, Dolores being there when the guy dies and the wife coming out, we get the new title sequence, Rossi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, I forgot to say one thing.
What's that?
Dolores said to Jerry, "I'm the last of my kind. For now, I need a competitive advantage." That's what she said about like the Insight stuff. And then as for the money, think of it as an investment, a startup, the origin of a new species. Is that a species of hosts?
Don't know.
I don't know.
I would assume she means just her and her kind are going to be the new species that takes over the world. I love her like explaining anything to this guy because it's just so.
Yeah.
It's just for us, right? The lines are all for us and her motivation because he's clearly not going to be around.
Yeah, he's really not Ross.
Nah.
No.
The new title sequence is dope though.
Yeah, there's some sort of hawk or eagle flying toward a turbine. Like an aerodynamic test situation. And now get this, Ross. When it flies too close to the sun, it disintegrates, similar to the story of Icarus.
Icarus.
You're my Icarus, Ross.
Who doesn't remember Icarus rolling that ball up that hill?
Pardon me?
What?
Isn't that Atlas? What? That's
Say what?
Did you? Okay. That was so wrong.
Hercules.
There's also what kind of looks like a little Ghost Nation hologram. Two hosts are swimming toward each other.
Shouts to Ghost Nation.
Shouts to Ghost Nation. And the two hosts like swim towards each other, turn out to be one host, a reflection, they drown. I didn't like that.
It's all beautiful.
It was beautiful but confusing. I didn't like it.
I like the music.
I mean, it's the same music as always.
Yeah.
And that music is being played by my favorite thing of all time, as we've talked about before, the worst part of any title sequence on TV, the skeleton playing the piano. How have they not taken this out already, Ross? Please.
I don't know. Thank God for Ramin Djawadi and his tunes because they still haven't crushed this title sequence correctly. There's too many aspects.
Take out the skeleton playing the piano.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a skeleton playing a piano is in like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Like I'm pretty sure it's some super old, stupid, played out thing.
It's like this classic image though for Westworld at this point.
It
like
is.
They can't walk away from it.
That's like saying the Nazi flag is a classic emblem of Germany. It's not good. You should distance yourself from it.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know that those are comparable, but I'm gonna allow you to make that comparison.
You know,
for the sake of podcasting.
I went out on a limb. Unlike what Charlie Brown kept getting while trick-or-treating in The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, this scene doesn't rock. I got to rock.
Good God.
The scene stinks.
Oh sure.
Ross, we get another graphic after the title sequence.
Graphics.
Cue the Seinfeld bassline. Boom. And this time we're headed to Los Angeles, where minor irregularities have been detected that require analysis.
Ah, the City of Angels. So in terms of this computer and the minor irregularities or the anomalies or whatever it's pointing to, like for whom is it pointing these things out?
That's a great question. I imagine it would be Rehoboam pointing them out to the original architect who we learned
we're gonna meet next
Sirach
season
or
or
whatever his
whatever.
name was. We'll get to his name later.
Yeah.
They said his name at the end of the episode. Sirach is a vodka.
Sirach!
But it might also be this guy's name.
It's the Rock!
We finally meet Caleb, a.k.a. Jesse Pinkman, a.k.a. Aaron Paul. And as we noted in our trailer podcast, we have a shot of him waking up just like the hosts wake up. Obviously, this is done intentionally. we're not cool for realizing this. They did this incredibly intentionally and obviously.
Yes.
I do not think it means he's a host. I think it's done to create the parallel between the roboticness of a host's never-ending monotonous loop and the roboticness of a working human who is essentially on a never-ending monotonous loop as well, just one that allows them to go on vacation and get Taco Bell every so often.
Beautifully fucking said, sir.
Thank you. Caleb's in the process of waking up, but is somehow already on a phone call? I think this was done, Ross.
It took me about 20 minutes to figure out what was going on here.
I'm about to explain it because I did not get it till my second rewatch. Wait, my second watch, which is my first rewatch. That's how the word.
Well, I got it in my first one because I'm a genius, but it took me forever.
So 20 minutes later, when you're watching like Bernard getting beat up, you went, "Oh, that's what that meant."
I'm like, "Oh shit." Well, because I kept being like, "What? How is he talking? His mouth's not moving." Hell of a phone.
You think
they're communicating? He's communicating with Kid Cudi through telepathy.
Hey Ross, you think you're incredibly smart for having the thought, "Hey, how's he talking without his mouth moving?" You think that's a really high level, high IQ thought to have?
It's the same thought I had at my first ventriloquist show that I saw.
Did it take you 20 minutes to figure out how that was?
I was 31. It was last year.
The guy's like, "All right, bye for now," and you're like, "Holy shit, that's not the puppet talking, that's him."
The whole time.
20 minutes later.
Jared, it would blow your mind. I'll take you to the next one I go to. But no, seriously, my first dumbass thought was, I don't understand how I'm having this conversation. His mouth's not moving.
Yeah.
Because I had the impression phone call. But then as we find out, obviously, Kid Cudi has passed away. They're veterans. They served in a war of some kind together.
In some sort of former Soviet republic.
And this is some sort of therapeutic service that he is subscribed to have like a communication with his friend, a communique with his late friend. It's very, very strange.
Yep. So that's exactly what's going on here. I think that the reason they woke him up like on the phone call already before he declined the call was to trick us into thinking people in 2058 can accept phone calls in their brain, which from the technology we've seen would have made sense to me.
That's where I was at.
Yeah, but then we see him decline the call from Francis, a.k.a. Kid Cudi, immediately after saying, "Yeah, I have time to talk." So then we're like, "Oh, okay, this is not a current conversation." Caleb and Francis's conversations are pretty confusing, but what's happening is exactly what Ross said. These are past conversations, possibly future ones. It's kind of unclear.
It's an AI of his friend.
Exactly.
It doesn't. I don't think they're recorded past conversations. I think they're
No. This is just playing in the background. He's declining the calls, but it's like making him think about the past calls that he's had with Francis.
Oh, I thought it was like playing.
No.
So that's just him flashing back.
Okay.
So what is he unsubscribing to then?
Let me go into this. I think Caleb and Francis's conversations we're witnessing Caleb wake up in his first ever conversation with quote unquote Francis. It's like he's kind of a little apprehensive and he's like learning the technology. He wakes up and he's replaying in his brain, maybe possibly dreaming of this the first ever conversation he had with Francis. He wakes up, declines the call because at that point he's already at the point in his process of like therapy where he hates talking to Francis.
Okay.
All the calls we hear are ones that took place before, I believe, the first ever wake up we see from Caleb. He's already at this point like, fuck this, I don't like talking to Francis. It makes me feel weird and it's not real and I don't like it because all we know is that Caleb wants something real. So he hates these conversations.
Because they're fake.
And that's why the only one we actually see him have is at the end of the episode when he ends them. I believe that all the other ones took place before the first scene, like I said.
Got you.
And then we are witnessing him slowly go,
this is not healthy or good for me
I can't
anymore.
Keep declining these. I'm not going to take them. I'm ending the therapy.
Yeah, I need to stop. Remove this from my life.
Yep.
Living in this past with this late friend is not real. Yeah. Okay.
Originally, I said maybe they could be future calls, but now I think that every single call we hear from Francis, besides the one we actually see him do, is before anything we've seen. It's all when he first started the therapy. And I think when he goes to that therapist, Caleb, I think that's him. He hasn't answered one in a while. He's like, yeah, I answer them sometimes. I think he'd already stopped answering them for a while. And the guy's like, just do it. Just do it. And then he didn't do it 2 more times. And then he finally did it at the end to end it. Did that explain it a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. So, what do we learn about Caleb from this phone call that he has with Francis? We learn that Caleb installs fiber optic cables for a living. He's skeptical about the idea that technology improves the world for everyone. He works with a sweet, sweet robot man named George, who doesn't ask to borrow money, George is a good friend. We could all use a friend like George.
A.K.A. Chappie, A.K.A. Pathfinder.
Yes, he looks like all of them. Caleb is working to try and improve his social credit score in an effort to get a better job someday. Caleb says it's now a meritocracy, which makes those who aren't floating upward feel like shit. Those are my words, but that's pretty much what he says. Poop. Caleb turned his implant off at some point, we learned from Francis. And implants are what help you smooth off your rough edges and are presumably what interact with those Listerine-ready tabs like we mentioned earlier. Two times we see the implants in this episode are Caleb's mom, while she's sick, presumably with Alzheimer's or dementia or something.
Yep.
She takes them to smooth off her rough edges, whereas Jerry takes it to smooth off his before he goes to bed. Also maybe to calm down his terrible, terrible temper.
Jerry himself in dream world.
Yeah, Jerry stinks.
So our boy does not have an implant.
No implant. And this, my friend...
But he used to.
He used to.
Okay.
And this,
so he
my
knows the
friends-
implant life.
Let me say the thing I'm going to say.
Say it. Say it.
It's a crackpot theory, Ross.
Okay. It's your first one of the season.
It is.
I'm excited to hear what it is.
That's why I was like, rush it up. I need to say my crackpot theory.
Let's say it.
My crackpot theory, number 1 for season 3, is that Insight is getting all the data on every human via these implants. The humans don't know that, but they're getting it that way. And
The humans are morons then.
Yeah, well, yes, but I think that something is going to happen later this season that is going to affect everyone except for both humans who do not have implants, like Caleb, and hosts who don't have implants. I think it was going to be some sort of thing like, oh my God, everybody who has an implant, it turns into like a Clone Wars from Star Wars situation. Like, you know, your implant gets turned on. This is like a movie, right? What movie was that? Where everybody, like, you had something in your head and it got turned on, and then you're
Minority Report.
Is that
No,
right? You're just naming a movie? Yeah, I think all the implants get turned on to some crazy evil mode, and it's like everybody who has an implant versus everybody who doesn't, which are the humans without implants like Caleb and the hosts.
Right on. I think it's just going to play into the way that the I don't know. There's obviously a lot going on with the drugs these people take to interact with the implant, and I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a situation where it's like, oh my God, because that would be not so twisty. And here's the thing. We're all aware that the government and all of these technology companies and social media companies are taking all of our data through our cell phones, and it's 30 years before this is supposed to be. So we're very aware that if they're putting chips in our heads, of course, people are going to be getting that data. So I don't know. We'll see, though. I'm stoked on the setup. The way they've set up all these different futuristic technologies for us to play with in this season, I'm very excited about.
Part of me feels like in the Insight anthem, I'm incited, yeah. Part of me feels like in that commercial that we watched, they said that they like kept your data secure.
I do feel there was a line of some kind about data protection reassurance. Like it was because it was Facebook-esque.
Don't be evil. That's like Facebook's old motto.
It made me feel like those Facebook commercials after they all their stuff happened and they started putting out these commercials like, hey, remember how we made you keep up with your grandma? We're good.
Yeah. You can join a group to talk about making tacos.
Keep up with your neighbors in this neighborhood group.
Now tell me what kind of comforter you like. What's your favorite Triscuit cracker? Here's an ad, bitch.
Like, yeah, dude, we're going to be aware that if they stick implants in our heads, they're coming for that data.
They are. Data rules everything around me. Dream.
It's true. That's what they say.
We said it. That's everybody's favorite thing.
We made a shirt out of that.
We did make a shirt. People, hey, shouts if you have the shirt.
Wow.
Tweet a photo at us.
Famp.
All right. Caleb's current job doesn't fully pay the bills, we learn. Fiber optics doesn't hand you the bag, apparently.
Bro is broke.
Mm-hmm. He has extra expenses because his mother is sick. So he uses an app called Rico to make some side money. Rico is essentially Uber for crime.
Rico is the app that they put in Grand Theft Auto video games that makes you go, this is ridiculous. Except it's in Westworld now, and I love it.
Yes.
What are the options? It's like, no, I want to stay poor, or like, fuck yeah, let's do crime.
It's like, no, I'm basic, and then it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, something like that.
Let's steal. Yeah, no, and so he doesn't do. What does he call? What do they call personals?
Personals. That's like stuff.
Kidnapping, murder.
Yes, exactly. Stuff that involves people rather than like goods or money.
So he'll do ATM now. He does all this larceny, petty crime.
He does drop-offs of other stuff. He'll do like stealing money, but he doesn't like to do stuff with humans because he's just in it for the money. He's not trying to be a real criminal.
Another great concept here, future technology-wise, social media-wise, sort of combining them, and very much something that is already existent. This is not something we are very far away from being much more official. If you're not aware already, there are many apps on the same sort of scale as like a Snapchat, you could say, that operate with the sole purpose of allowing people to communicate in an unencrypted form for the purposes of doing illegal shit.
Yeah, so Caleb does drop-offs and redistributive work, he said. So Robin Hood shit, apparently. Redistributing wealth is what that's referring to. But he doesn't do personals, like we mentioned. And we learned that this is similar to the work that he did with Francis over there, which, like I said, based on the signs, appears to be a former Soviet republic, state, whatever. So he's been doing this a long time. He does these kind of like little jobs that are criminal, but like he's kind of like a honorable criminal
version of that. Yeah. There's a line for him somewhere. He does this shit because he has to. His mom's is sick, but he won't kill people.
But he's
clearly a good guy.
Well, yeah, but he also is like, I don't do personals, and then he did do the thing with the naked dude with the penis. But I think that was a personal that was helping the guy out, not like somebody else hiring him to take that guy down. Because he says that the guy is like, I don't do personals, talking about like escorting that rich guy who is on the Beta Olympics.
Yes.
We'll get into that scene in a little bit, though. Yes. So we then meet Ash and G. And G, by the way, stands for Giggles. And obviously, Ash is Lena Waithe, and Beast Mode Marshawn Lynch is Giggles.
Giggles is a phenomenal character with an even better shirt.
Yeah, and Giggles is absolutely gone off that drip. He is dripping, and he is absolutely not okay.
So he's our first sign that there's like a level of like drug-induced disconnection here somewhere for a lot of these people, and it's the implant thing again, and he's not sober.
Let's talk about his T-shirt. What a tight T-shirt.
Phenomenal tee.
It's like a combination of a mood ring and those LED shirts that like your friend would wear on Halloween and be like, yo, check this out. I wrote boobs on my shirt.
Yes, except it's tight, and it reacts to your mood.
Is there a way we can make a shirt inspired by this that doesn't get us sued?
Probably.
Because I don't see a brand on there, right? If you want this, tweet at us and say, I want it, Jared.
Oh, it for sure exists.
Oh, the shirt exists, but we could make one that's like, I was thinking maybe we like replace one of the words with FAMF.
No, we change out all the words.
We change every word?
Yeah,
oh,
one
so
of them
it's
says
like
horny. One of them says hungry. One of them says happy.
Can one just say hung?
And one of them says
hung.
Super sad.
That's really long.
That's the other one.
That's really
super
long.
sad. That's the last one.
And it only lights up super sad. We couldn't pay for all the lights, so it just lights up super sad.
Also, just because that's all I got left.
Oh, Jesus, Ross. So we learned that Caleb not doing personals is hurting his Rico score, presumably his criminal social credit score, which is funny that they implemented it in the criminal world and in the non-criminal world.
Also, it should be noted, Rico is what you hear every mafia boss get indicted with. Racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations act is the deal there. And
I
that's
didn't
why
know that.
It's called the Rico app. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, bitch.
Wow. I just thought Rico was like rich, like money.
Nah.
So we have Ash, Giggles, and Caleb. They all get down to criminaling with the help of Ash's technology that both prevents them from being seen as like together by the system. It's for like plausible deniability, and it also drowns out the noise of their explosion by pumping Death Grips music into everybody's ears.
Yeah, this is a cool feature too. I like that.
Yeah, it's wild. Caleb earns $1,200 in 5 crime coins. This is so Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
We need Rebus. Rebus is in Grand Theft Auto. We need him to come back and be in the Rico app. Maybe he's in the Rico app. Maybe he's the guy behind the girl.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I miss him dearly.
Good guy Rebus, bad guy Rebus. Any Rebus is good. Shouts to the Milk Boys. A fun Easter egg we see on the screenshot here. We find out everybody's username. Caleb is Nickel and Dimed. Ash is Ashes to Ashes. And Giggles is Giggles24. 24 being Marshawn Lynch's jersey number.
What an Easter egg.
That's an Easter egg. Nobody in the world has ever noticed that but me.
Wow.
Nobody. If anybody else does say, like, oh, I found that out myself, they're a liar, and they copied me.
Mine is Boss Rollin in the Rico app, if you were curious, and it's better than everyone else's.
You're not supposed to have one that close to your name, dude.
Don't care.
They're going to go, oh, we see this guy Boss Rollin. Who the fuck could that be?
Anonymity is not the concern. It's branding.
Okay.
I need people to know who I am in that Rico app, bruh.
True. All right.
Clout.
We cut right to Delos headquarters with no graphic in what appears to be Oakland, given the San Francisco background. I looked on Google Maps for like 15 minutes to see, like, oh, where is it?
You have a problem.
I know. It was Oakland. Quote-unquote Charlotte Hale gets out of one of those flying things and walks powerfully to a meeting. I say quote-unquote Charlotte Hale.
Because we know it's not Charlotte Hale.
She's, in fact, dead. She was shot by Dolores. And this has to be a host. The host that we saw walk out of Arnold's house at the end of season 2, episode 10. Who the fuck is it?
We have no idea.
Ross,
and that's going to be a big part of the season.
Season 3, Crackpot Theory. Number 2 is right now. We see that Charlotte is smoking a cigarette. Do you know who else smokes cigarettes? 2 people. Teresa and Emily. The plausible one here is Emily, because we know...
Who the fuck is Emily?
Oh my God. Look, I want to see your face when you look at when you realize who this is. You're probably thinking of her by her other name.
The daughter
Emily.
of
William.
Black Hat?
Yes.
Why is that one that you think I would remember off the top?
Emily? Come on.
I had no idea that chick's name was Emily.
What?
Raise your hand if you're with me and not Jared and you didn't remember Emily. Thank you.
There's no, okay.
Hands down.
So I hope
We're just going to assume I won.
Okay, probably.
We couldn't see any of the hands.
So it's either Teresa or Emily. I think it's Emily because we know from season 2 that Dolores stumbled upon Emily's corpse in the park before she ran into the man in black. She literally is like, I saw you killed your daughter, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
My words, not hers.
But Emily was a human.
But we don't know that.
What would the purpose of bringing Emily back be?
To take down the man in black.
I like Teresa.
But I mean, it could be a control unit.
But I don't think it's either of them.
I don't know.
I don't think it's either of them.
Could be one of them.
I don't think it's either of them.
That's my crackpot theory.
My crackpot theory is that your crackpot theory is incorrect.
I feel like there's a lapse in one of them has to be crazy and one has to be not crazy.
It would be crazy if you were wrong. It's a compliment.
Thank you. Holy shit.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's really nice of you.
You're welcome.
That was a lot more positive than I thought it was going to be.
Bitch.
Oh, come on. Charlotte goes into this very tense Delos board meeting in which Delos execs are trying to figure out how to weather this crisis. She just straight up mutes a guy.
Dude, what a feature.
Mariah could do that
She
to us
can
right
do it
now.
to us.
Producer
Yeah.
Mariah right now you should just mute me right now while I'm talking. I think she muted me. Did she mute me?
There you go. So
She
everyone
might have
watching on
muted
youtube.com/bowling
man.
media can see that your mouth is still moving, but no words are coming
Yeah,
out.
I don't know if I'm still... Okay, I'm probably not muted anymore.
I hope you're
Am
back.
Okay,
It
I'm
would
back.
be unfortunate if the rest of the show you just weren't able to speak.
So that's pretty cool that's a thing you can do. And Charlotte, quote unquote Charlotte, used it right away, and I thought that was very funny. It's like, what is it, Around the Horn?
It's PTI or Around the Horn, whichever one of those it is where you can mute somebody
Yeah, I think
and
it's
they
Around
can't
the Horn.
speak. Except in real life, it's the best. I've been in a lot of meetings and a lot of conference calls and a lot of conference tables where I wish I could have muted a motherfucker like that.
In this meeting, Charlotte lays out her plan for taking Delos private to protect its valuable assets and very much downplays the fact that their robots just killed 113 people with the line, robots don't kill people, people kill people. Without getting political, surely you see the commentary that the showrunners are making here. It's a very clear Second Amendment commentary.
I honestly didn't even like just forcing that in there. I was like, okay, that's not a good line. Sorry.
It was. I don't know if they thought that was going to hit hard. It didn't hit hard.
Robots don't kill people. People kill people. Okay,
Robots
but
kill
the people
people.
built the robots. Unless robots built the robots, in which case
It's denying consciousness of robot. It's denying AI's ability to create sentience, which obviously I don't think anybody denies that, especially not somebody in
and
Charlotte's
it's important to remember. Charlotte is actually part of the other team.
She is, yes.
So she's doing shit within this company, or going to be doing shit within this company, to negatively impact the human beings.
True. So
Probably. We're guessing, right?
So I think, she's saying robots don't kill people because she knows robots do kill people, and she's trying to convince them, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, robots don't kill people, people kill people. Yeah.
It's the guy. I love the guy
it's
in.
espionage.
I love the guy in Happy Gilmore who has on the shirt that says "Guns don't kill people, I kill people."
Damn.
Yeah.
Charlotte then pins the entire massacre on one Bernard Lowe.
Yeah.
Could
Okay,
this be...
so now we find out this is the angle here.
Okay, so...
Trying to blame Bernard.
Yes. There's an international manhunt for Bernard Lowe, who they think is a human. The international manhunt people think is a human. Could this...
Everyone thinks he's a human.
Yeah,
right?
everybody does, except for the people who know he's a host, including Charlotte, because she saw him.
Not a person.
Quote-unquote Charlotte. And Dolores.
So no people.
I think this, pinning it on Bernard, is what Dolores was referring to when she brought Bernard back into the real world and said, we're not allies or friends. It's like, hey,
she was using him.
Buddy, I'm about to fuck you over, but I need you here to...
Take the blame.
Do you think it was only to take the blame? I want to believe that it was part mercy and part taking the blame. I think she knows Bernard's a good... she even mentions it. It's like, hey, I need difference of opinion. I need you to hold me accountable, like he did to her in season 2.
Yeah, it's very much both sides of the coin. It's both a mercy and letting him, like, obviously not or taking him out, and then also, yes, it's like the Batman Joker thing. Like, she needs him out there.
Yeah.
Also, she needs him to take the blame for this entire situation. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons for Bernard to be left alive and left out there to do his thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We cut without graphic. And I think maybe we only get the graphic for system disruption events or like notable stuff that involves Rehoboam. We cut to a beautiful futuristic countryside where we find Bernard, a.k.a. Armand Delgado, working at a farm/slaughterhouse operation as he tries to hide during the international manhunt we just referenced.
Love his new name.
Armand Delgado.
Huge fan. Great choice.
Do we think that's an anagram for anything? Because Bernard Lowe and Arnold Weber are that for each other?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Somebody, intern Serena, get on that. Figure
good
out.
Question.
How about Rad Man Leg Dado?
You really gave it your all, Jared. And we all commend you for that.
We watch a scene of incredible acting by Jeffrey Wright right now as Bernard literally performs analysis mode on himself. Jeffrey Wright crushed this scene, going into and out of analysis mode.
Dude, he's so
in
good.
in one camera shot. Beautiful. The way he's able to like freeze his face up and tense up his face muscles. We need him on the show. Jeffrey Wright, if you're listening, you have posted our memes before. Please come on the show.
I've tweeted with him before.
Oh.
Too.
Oh.
Seriously.
Wow, how'd that go?
I don't remember. It was like during season 1.
Oh, you don't remember? Did he come on the show?
No.
Oh, okay. So you do remember.
Oh, no, I didn't ask him to come on the show.
Oh. Well, you should hit him up, please.
Okay.
It's unclear at this point whether Bernard doesn't yet trust himself to be fully in tune with his own thoughts and thus has to confirm them to himself. If he is still intentionally hiding some things from himself to protect himself, like he did in season 2, or if there are actually 2 Bernard personalities in this one body, one that is the regular Bernard that was programmed to be a normal person, and the other one that is the evil Bernard that Ford used to do his bidding. I think based on the scene we get later in the slaughterhouse, I'm pretty sure it's the latter, that Bernard now can channel that crazy evil Bernard mode that Ford put into him.
Yes. And this is a big, it's like maybe the biggest development of the episode, that he has this button that he can press to essentially remove himself from the situation and allow his AI to handle it however it needs to be handled. It takes away the humanity in him.
Dissociating.
Yes.
Turns into a killing machine.
Which is what people do when they commit great acts of violence and horrific acts of terror in many cases. So it's like...
And robots. Humans and robots.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just an interesting thing that he has
interesting.
That button that he can hit, man, at any point. And it's just a very fine-tuned level of control to be able to get himself in and out of that zone. It's just an interesting thing they're playing with there.
We got 2 Bernards, 1 body.
Who helped him get this button set up?
I don't know.
That's where it's like, it's just, I'm wondering if we're going to find out more about sort of how the button came to be or how it's going to play.
Yeah, you know what, Ross? We're probably going to get 3 episodes on the button.
It's just strange to introduce that Bernard all of a sudden has a button that he can personality back and forth, but to not give us any explanation of where it came from.
No, I think we need like 2 episodes on Liam's glasses. Are they Warby Parker? Are they Felix Gray's? Are they who's another one? Movement.
These are Felix Gray's. Just for the
those
record.
are Felix Gray's?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. But Liam's, we don't know.
I have no clue.
Well, we'll be back with a season 2, episode 2, Liam's glasses, Domine.
Oh, great.
We cut to another disturbance, graphic bass lick. This time there is elevated scrutiny.
What? Just continue.
There's elevated scrutiny and special circumstances listed with this disturbance on the graphic.
Elevated scrutiny.
Yes.
And
I think that's probably elevated scrutiny about, is this Dolores? I think Rehoboam is realizing this Dolores might be a fraud. But when I say Dolores, I mean Laura, whatever her last name is, Laura Espin.
Laura Espin.
I think Rehoboam is like realizing Laura Espin might actually be
a problem, not a real person.
Not a real person. And
fake.
Dolores. It says we're in London, not UK, London, UREW, which I am guessing means the United Republic of England and Wales, saying that Scotland and Northern Ireland have left the United Kingdom.
Oh, that's an interesting commentary.
For some reason, the second I read that, I'm like, yeah, this is right. I'm just going to say it as canon. I'm pretty sure it's right. It has to be right. What else could it be?
Don't drag me into this.
I think it's right. We see Dolores attending an Insight gala?
I've always said gala.
That's celebrating Liam Dempsey being named Technologist of the Year for creating Rehoboam, which is called the strategy engine that saved the world.
Wow.
Presumably, this is the system of social credit and hierarchy we've been hearing so much about with Caleb and everybody else in the world. Liam is the son of Liam Dempsey Sr., who we saw in the Insight Anthem commercial. I'm Insighty, yeah! Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum.
And Liam McPoyle is the man who played young Black Hat.
You're close to that. Liam McPoyle was played by Jimmy Simpson, who plays William.
Shit!
You were close on the name.
Thank you.
Although you called Jimmy Simpson, you thought his name was Liam McPoyle.
What is his name?
Jimmy Simpson. I just said it.
Who's Liam McPoyle?
From It's Always Sunny. You don't even watch It's Always Sunny. Where the fuck did you get this from?
You put it in my brain.
Oh my God.
You fucked me up when you kept bringing up It's Always Sunny and making jokes about what are they called in Always Sunny?
Jokes?
McPoyle boys or something?
The milk. Are they the Milk Boys?
No.
They might be the Milk Boys.
No, the Milk Boys are what you made up when Rebus started chugging milk and murdering people in season 2 or whatever that was.
No, well, okay, the McPoyles have an insatiable lust for milk, as the Wikipedia.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Never mind. I'm sorry I did this to us all.
Yeah. So
You've got 6 minutes, Jared. Can you wrap up the entire episode in 6 minutes? How far are we?
we don't have 6 minutes. We have more than 6 minutes.
I'm just kidding.
What? Oh my God. There's no. Oh my God. It becomes apparent that Dolores is using Liam to infiltrate Insight under the name Lara Espin, probably using the info she got from Jerry to do so. It's working, and Liam is becoming smitten with her. He invites her to go to LA with him, and she does.
Yeah, this dude. First of all, newsroom guy, love him. This dude, so prime for cucking from the get-go. Like she's got him under her thumb from the second you see him on screen. And she's working him, and it's just beautiful. Yeah.
He looks like a big cuck.
He looks like the dude who's a son of a much more important dude that just didn't figure it out.
I want everybody to look at him for 10 seconds, and then I want you to think, okay, this guy looks like a mashup of Adam Driver and Paul Rudd.
Wow. Yeah, that's very accurate.
Yeah. And I mean long-haired Paul Rudd.
Look at us. We don't have to do it. We don't have to.
You could've done it.
Okay. All right.
Time for this episode's one ad read, our one presenting sponsor who we love very much. Hey, the thing with our sponsors is we love them. They support this show. They don't have to do it. They do it because they want to, and we love them for it. And today's presenting sponsor, we only have one.
Thanks for explaining that, Jared.
Yeah.
How business works. They're not forced. We don't hold them at gunpoint. They actually choose us. It's amazing. Go on.
Feels CBD, a product I stand behind like all the products that we will be promoting here on Fears on Motor Functions. Ross, do you experience stress or have anxiety or chronic pain?
Jared?
Or have trouble sleeping at least once a week?
All of those things happen to me every goddamn day of my life.
Every moment of every day.
Every suffering second.
And if you listening at home responded no, I want you to send a letter to your senator asking that they declare today, I'm a huge liar day. Because you're a huge liar.
You liar.
In these scary coronavirus times, getting real here for a second, a lot of us are experiencing the anxiety that comes with having to be cooped up inside for the good of humanity.
Yeah, it sucks.
Social distancing, while absolutely necessary, can be tough on the old noggin.
Oh,
if you're stuck indoors, you don't have the stimulation you get from being outside and interacting with people. It's tough.
It's gonna be hard on all of us. We're all gonna feel a little more stressed, a little more anxious, a little more tight, and that's where Feels comes in.
I've actually already personally ramped up my Feel CBD consumption because of it. I was writing a lot of the script today, and I was doing my little tincture of my CBD.
You were like,
chilling out.
I got to get some more of this Feels in me.
Yeah.
I got to tincture up.
You know?
I love the tincture, by the way.
The tincture's great.
And the word tincture.
Tincture is a top 5 word. Kismet is number 1. Just so you know.
Okay.
Feel CBD works for me, and I really do mean it when I say that I think it can work for you as well. It is premium CBD delivered directly to your doorstep. Feels naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, sleeplessness. It works great for instances of social anxiety as well, as I can say from experience. Place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. Feel the difference. It really is that easy. If you're new to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline, cold line, CBD line, and text message support to help guide your personal experience. It works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, hangover, or addiction.
That's huge, by the way. First of all, that you don't have to leave. Obviously.
Yeah,
most of us aren't allowed to. It'll come straight to your door. But also, for me, Feels is the only CBD I've ever used. And when it came to my door, it was the first time I'd ever used CBD, and I was unfamiliar with how it worked in the process. And that text message line and their website and all the information that comes with your Feels when it's delivered is so helpful to understanding how CBD can be beneficial and useful to you. And I was very appreciative of that. Great company.
I really do believe Feels can help you. Like, it's helping me. CBD is all the craze right now for a reason. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. It's just like a popular thing, you know? Like, if you want to try popular things, I like to try popular things.
Sure, Jared.
There is a difference between the good stuff like Feels and that terrible stuff they sell at corner stores that's not Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/freeze.
If you buy CBD from a gas station, you are a freaking idiot.
Yeah, it's actually mostly antifreeze and motor oil mixed together into a sludge.
Allegedly. We have actual legit Feels here with a code and a URL.
Feels.com/freeze, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. You become a member, 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/freeze. CBD. Try it out. Tell them J-Bone sent you and Russ.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get back into it. We see a dream Caleb has of being with Francis, implying he misses him. Then another past conversation Caleb had with quote-unquote Francis played on top of present-day Caleb living out what he spoke about with Francis. That sounds confusing, but that's what happened. In this conversation, Caleb is talking about trying to get a better job. This has a great effect of showcasing the monotony and roboticness of Caleb's life, considering he had this conversation with Francis in the past, and he's still applying for jobs, still trying to get jobs.
Still in the same loop.
They did a great job of showing Caleb's loop in this episode, just like they did a great job of showing Dolores' loop.
And that's the thing
And
that
Maeve's
like,
loop in episode 1 of season 1.
That's the thing Aaron Paul carries with him, and one of the reasons he was cast is he has that look of like, I have been through some shit when he wants it. And he had it with Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad, and he's able to like put that like pain and suffering on his face, and it's the same thing he's able to do here. You really feel it for the dude. And that's a feeling many people can identify with. The monotony of the same thing day after day in a job you don't like, with money you feel like you need more of, with sick family members, and it's like that. He's our guy that we're going to identify with here, and obviously in a way that's going to get very complicated, right?
Yes, very much so. We then see Caleb at the therapist, who has put Caleb in the program of talking to robotic, quote-unquote, Francis. Caleb says he sometimes takes Francis's calls. We know he's denying them all the time. And he acts like he's going to start taking them more seriously and taking more calls. And then he immediately declines one when he walks out of the office and takes a Rico job. And then, right afterwards, another Francis voice conversation plays in his head. And this is a great part of the episode, obviously, because this is where Caleb takes the job with Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Giggles, and it involves Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Giggles, getting into a fist fight with a naked man.
Yeah. Turns out you shouldn't punch Giggles in the face.
No. Also, how much more do you... I've always respected Marshawn Lynch. He's been one of my favorite football players, one of my favorite athletes for a long time. The fact that he took this role and wrestled a naked man, I love it.
I love seeing him behind the scenes, too. He was like so stoked on getting to do this, and yeah, he's great.
He's such a good dude.
Very entertaining guy.
So the job is Caleb and G are supposed to calm down and remove a naked man who is high on beta Olympics, which is an experimental drug. He's a rich guy, though, so they're like, okay, this guy needs to be taken out of here and not go to jail for 20 years because he's got priors.
Right.
So the rich get preferential treatment where they can afford to have people go and cover up their mistakes.
Oh, it's just like the real world.
It really is. Important to note, I don't know if you noticed this, Ross. You know what? No, you definitely didn't notice this. This is something only a hero. I'm not a hero, sorry. Only somebody like me could notice.
Okay.
There's a wolf being projected on the naked beta Olympics guy.
For the love of God.
Which definitely has something to do with the wolf that keeps showing up everywhere at the massacres, everywhere.
Wait, was there really a wolf projected onto the naked guy?
Yes, he was projected onto the wall, and he was standing in front of the projector, so it was projected on him. The wolf, Ross, the wolf is back. The wolf is here in Season 3. He has landed in Season 3.
Wow.
Jock is the wolf.
Wow.
Jock is the wolf.
Wow. I am just mind blown right now.
And in this scene, Giggle starts out amused, as you can tell by his shirt, but then he gets angry, as you can also tell by his shirt, when the guy punches him. And that's when he manhandles the man.
And then Giggles has to go off.
He went off. I loved it. We cut to Dolores and Liam flying on one of those flying thingies. And we learn that Insight doesn't admit it, but they control how civilization runs because Liam's dad's AI was able to be implemented to try and solve humanity's problems.
Now, what do you mean there? People aren't aware that it works?
No. So Liam is not admitting that they're controlling everything. He's like, no, we're a technology company. But really, they have data on everybody and they run the world.
But he does explain that the computer's very purpose was to find an exact path for every single person in an effort to make the world a better place.
Yes, exactly. That's why they were able to get it passed and implemented in the world or America or however broadly this is reaching.
Okay.
That's why they were able to get implemented.
That's the sell, but then they're doing...
And then they're doing all this stuff behind the scenes. This is Facebook. Oh, we're meant to connect people so everybody can live more connected.
That's the one thing, I'll be honest, I don't like so far. Because it's a little
parallels
too
with
on the
Facebook?
nose.
Yeah.
No, not the parallels to Facebook necessarily, but it would be a huge concern for every single human on the planet if at any point somebody was like, we're going to implement this thing, it's a chip you put in your head, it's going to find you we would all be like, okay, well, fuck, what's happening with the data?
Yeah.
And are you controlling us? It'd be the first question. So it's like, it's a little weird to think that's the twist we may be looking at here, that company may be evil and actually doing bad things. And it's like, that's too much on the nose with what Delos did in seasons 1 and 2, where, ooh, it's a park, but, well, they're clearly doing sinister things with data. And it's like,
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
You saw all the horrible, horrible things that were happening before the system was initiated.
Very good point.
Maybe this is a better alternative.
Which is always the question, right? Where's the line? With these technologies, we're saving certain things, we're able to prevent certain things, but it doesn't cause... Yeah, there's a weird ripple. Yeah. So...
Connells, who is Liam's handler, clearly knows something is up with Dolores, a.k.a. Laura Espin, and gives her a very foreshadowing stare down. And he's like, I don't like her.
He's got a feeling.
Liam shows Dolores Rehoboam, which is the system. Mike biblically, Rehoboam is the first king of the kingdom of Judah and the successor to Solomon. Solomon was the system that was mentioned in the Date Announced trailer. Fun fact.
Was Solomon not the man who was once the wisest alive?
Is it right? Oh, that would make sense.
Indeed, he was. He was the one who asked God for wisdom.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You motherfuckers are lucky I read the Bible.
Solomon Grundy is a fictional character depicted as a supervillain in DC Comics.
And I believe Solomon something else is the character in Blood Diamond.
Solomon, shit. I ran out of Solomon, plural. He put an EN at the end. I ran out of
Solomon Vandy in Blood Diamond. I win. Now, go on,
You
Jared.
win, yeah, okay,
go
whatever. Yeah, we learned that Insight was created to stop wasted potential, which is, inherently a good cause. We know that it is not succeeding at doing this because Caleb is shown to us as the perfect example of wasted potential. As Ash points out, he's not even being as good of a criminal as he has the potential to be. She's like, your score should be higher. And he's like, he's wasting his potential while wasting his potential. That's the extent to which Rehoboam is not working.
Yes.
Wild. So we know...
Very good point.
This system stinks. Liam has to ditch Dolores to go meet with the partner. Presumably this is the partner we learn later on locked out Liam from the system.
Okay.
And presumably also we learn this partner has some sort of stake in relationship with Delos. Very interested to see who this is. Very interested to see who this is.
And this is Vincent Castle, the actor, right?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
Vincent Castle comes in. I believe he is going to be the Sirac, whatever.
He's going to be the very top dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. I think he's going to be the architect.
The architect.
But not the partner? I think those are two different people.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. Different people. Architect behind it, I think, is going to end up being Vincent Castle, who's this very famous actor who, if you Google, you recognize.
Yeah, that's my guess. But he could be the partner.
You're right. Don't know. Either way.
So Dolores spies on the partner meeting while telling a random man to fuck off. That was funny.
Yeah.
During which she learns, we learn that somebody has gained access to Rehoboam and is testing it. And we also learn that there is a mysterious he who is the head of the partner group who Liam does not like, and that this he is being impacted by what happens at Delos, like I mentioned before. We also get a comparison between Rehoboam and the Forge in terms of learning about people via data, because we have, there are two different things. Rehoboam has information on everybody, and the Forge had information about everybody who'd been to the park. There's an interesting parallel I think is going to be at play there. Maybe the Forge was kind of the precursor to Rehoboam. Maybe they're related in that sense. I do not know.
And how much time has passed? It's like, I'm unclear on that as well. It's there's a lot to play with.
We're not supposed to know that. Cut back to Bernard, a.k.a. Armand Delgado, in the butcher warehouse, getting discovered as Bernard the Fugitive by two of his coworkers. They team up to bring him to justice after realizing they can't blackmail him because he has nothing except a button. Could have given them the button.
He ends up giving him the button, all right.
He did give him... he gave him the button.
Oh, he gives it to him.
Yeah, but not before he's trying to tell them his life story. No, don't hurt me. Here's what's going on. Dolores is here, and I'm way behind her, and I need to find my friend.
Listen, I'm the only thing that could save you. And they're like, guy, what are you talking about?
Dude, I want
Shut
money.
the fuck up. Yeah.
It was dumb. Bad crisis
That was
management
for us,
skills.
though. It's for us. And so
it
we
is.
find out sort of, what Bernard's got as his sort of purpose in his head so far.
Yeah. He says Dolores is coming for them and that she's had months to plan and he's alone and he can't even trust himself, which is why he's testing himself with the button.
And he doesn't seem, he's very much still in a place of uncertainty and he's like trying to figure it all out. Yeah.
He's like, I can't do it while alone. And he like kind of tries to like ask for their help. I was like, dude, they're trying to hurt you.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Just kill these guys.
Come on.
Hit the button.
And then he hits the button. He gives them the button. He's like, remember yourself. Please don't hurt them too badly. Narrator. He did hurt them too badly.
He did hurt them just as badly as they could be hurt.
At this point, my running theory, like I said earlier, is that Bernard is capable of channeling the sicko mode Bernard that Ford has been using to carry out his bidding.
That's it.
Sicko
mode Bernard. There it is.
Cut to Caleb again dreaming about being with Francis in some former Soviet state.
We're going to need somebody to edit just Bernard pressing the button, sicko mode playing, and then him going off, and then every instance of that happens this whole season. Thank you.
Thank you. Caleb is up front with quote-unquote Francis about not understanding this therapy exercise. He's like mentioning the therapy exercise to the robot. And Francis responds just with some cheesy canned motivational posters you'd see in a 4th grade classroom. He's like, everybody needs someone to talk to. Keep your eyes on the prize, buddy.
Yeah, this where it sort of falls apart and you see just how fake and hollow it all is.
Yes, exactly. Caleb gets a call from that job he applied for and finds out he didn't get it because he's thinking about Francis. He asks the guy on the other end of the phone if he's a real or a robot because he had just, was thinking about Francis being a robot.
How fake his other conversations and interactions were.
And this guy, too, is a robot. So he's really going down the whole, like, I need something real. I need something real. Everything around me is fake. This whole world is fake. Everything stinks.
And predetermined and shitty, yeah.
I know everything sucks, yeah. I know everything sucks, whoa. It's a Real Big Fish song, Ross.
I'm not a fish guy, but cool.
Real Big Fish, not regular fish.
Oh, different. I'm not a real big fish guy either.
Wait, you thought I was saying that was a really big song by the band Fish and not a song by the band Real Big Fish?
You can see how that would be confusing, right?
Ross, it's a Real Big Fish song, you know.
Jared, I think others might identify with me here.
He looks too much like Dave. That's a Fish reference for you. Okay. Caleb then said a bizarre line, if I'm not a good fit, is there a different shape I could squeeze myself into? He says this to the robot guy. This is such a bad line to say to a potential employer that Caleb literally broke the HR robot. Imagine that. He said he didn't get a job and he's like, oh, okay, well, if I'm not a good fit for that position, is there a shape I can squeeze myself into? And the robot's like, this is not, I can't handle this. This is so bad.
So cheesy, cannot respond to and then just fries, yeah.
Fries, absolutely fries.
Squeeze my, come on,
Caleb.
And
then he goes and does another Rico task. We cut back to Dolores and Liam. Dolores sees Liam.
I will also note, Jared.
Oh, what?
It's an interesting sort of
dichotomy.
Can't find a job, got to do crime. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it is in society sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. For sure.
Sometimes.
Cut back to Dolores and Liam. Dolores sees Liam is upset and uses this as an opportunity to get him to divulge sensitive information to her. We learn Liam doesn't even have real access to Rehoboam.
Liam's a fraud.
Fraud and a cuck.
Yeah.
His dad's partner, probably the partner mentioned earlier, like we said.
Probably Vincent Castle.
Locked him out of the system. Wait, Vincent Castle was the architect? Oh, you jerk. You're just derailing me. The guy locked him out of the system when Liam's dad died, the guy from the commercial.
Yes.
And only the original architect has access to Rehoboam now.
Which is problematic and seems like maybe some government entities should be looking into this.
Yes. Liam then says something very interesting. He says that if he was going to tell Dolores who the original architect was, the original architect would already have had him killed because Rehoboam would have already told the original architect that Liam was going to kill him.
Now, Jared, this is where Minority Report comes into play. Because we're talking about pre-crime.
Oh.
And pre-events and such.
Damn.
And that's where shit gets weird. And when he made that point, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. He's like, Rehoboam would have already killed me because it would have known that I was going to betray Rehoboam.
But here's the thing. Is it because she's an AI that Rehoboam is not capable of reading that event forecoming?
Maybe.
Maybe? I don't know.
Forecoming? What? Anyways, no.
For what now?
Possibly. Yeah. Possibly. Liam is saying that Rehoboam has him so well mapped that he doesn't have free will anymore. And before we learn from Liam who controls it, if he was going to ever divulge it, Connells comes in, outs Dolores as a spy, whisks her away to dose and dump her. Rehoboam is right once again, Ross.
Crazy. Did you know Liam is short for William?
Really?